All right, me too.
All right, what's up, guys? Thank you guys for coming. I'm gonna make this nice and condensed and sweet. And today we're gonna be talking about time to fair value gaps. Because I've seen them work a lot, and they're very simple and probably the only strategy I'm gonna do for scalping because it makes everything just so simple that it's hard to get it wrong. So let's continue. All right, so what I like basically doing the strategy when I know the daily chart is just gonna go up. Like, for example, if we go, oh, I mean, actually, I can't change. Let me see if I can change this. Actually. If we go to trading view, you'll see how the NASDAQ chart is just going straight up. Um, Let me see. Like, so this is like kind of like my daily bias. Like I don't even have any rules. All I know is I see this going up, I'm bullish. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, my fault, guys. Right now I'm bullish just because of the daily bias. So that's number one for me. Um, that's the first step, just determining the daily bias. And my second step is marking the fair value gaps after a red folder news event and market open. So if there's a 8:30 news event, the first fair value gap, you're marking it out. Doesn't matter if it's a bullish or bearish fair value gap. Even if your daily bias is bullish, you could still use a bearish fair value gap for an entry. And then I'm just waiting to see how price reacts to those levels. I'm not like setting a limit at those levels and just waiting, or like I'm not setting a limit and just forgetting. I'm like literally looking at how price reacts to those levels. Just because I feel like if you're just setting a limit, like obviously it could work a bunch of the times, like a bunch of times, and obviously you could lose a bunch of times, but I feel like when like you'll see in the examples, price shows support at these levels. Um, and obviously you can like manage your trade however you guys feel comfortable, but that's kind of all the rules there is. Um, just mark the first fair value gap and see how price supports at those fair value gaps. So this is just Friday, NFP. So we got NASDAQ right here with the big 8:30 candle, and we have a fair value gap right here. My mistake yesterday was I actually wasn't patient enough. I should have waited for right here. Okay, we get a nice little respect. Like over here is a good time to be buying, basically, because you see the respect, 50% getting respected. So you could have bought right here, but you're like, let's say your stop down here and still would have, hold a nice run. Or if you could have, let's say you got stopped out, you put your stop down here, you got stopped out, looked for another entry, and you can already tell like this is definitely support right here. Clean support. Um, so that's why I like waiting, particularly for like how price reacts to the fair value gaps and not just setting a limit. You feel me? And I also would like to note that these fair value gaps help you determine like price though, because notice how price is just hovering above them, and even if let's say it closed below it, and then it scoops back up and then closes above it again, like it just shows you how clean or like it just it's kind of like supply and demand zone. You know what I'm saying? I kind of use it in that regard. Like, oh, is it respecting this or is it using like is it flipping to resistance? So this is another example. You can't really see it for some reason. Let's see if I take this off. Yeah, right here. So this was actually 8:30. So 8:29, 9:30. Um, and then so I basically this is the 8:30 market open, fair value gap. We're hovering above that, we're finding support. Then we get a nice move up. I actually bought right here. and then put my stop down here and caught that move all the way up here, or actually to up here. But you can see how price respected it after 9:30. So this is 9:30 market open, and you could also put a fair value gap on 9:30 market open. So you would have a fair value gap right here. So you would have a fair value gap up here, and even though it's not like a beautiful respect, um, you could see that the price actually did kind of respect that level right there. So, and then it could give you indication as like, oh, we're closing above, we moving up. Like even with that logic, buying up here or like, you know what I'm saying, doesn't seem that bad because you have this support right here that just broke above. You know what I'm saying? You could put your stop down here, buy right here, and this is the day where Nasdaq just went like super crazy. So, um, here's another example. We got the first fair value gap after 8:30 again. Wait, let me see. Yeah, this is market open right here. And then this is 10 o'clock red folder news. So first fair value gap after market open. We have a little respect right here. We came up, came down. If you're bearish, you could have, maybe sold this right here, stop above here, wrote it down. But just because my daily bias is bullish, so I'm not really taking shorts, even though I did take a short around here. Um, I missed this trade, but with this trade, I actually ended up winning, and it was a good run. You could see over here. So, 10 o'clock happens. First fair value gap right here. Market came up, closed above, just like how I wanted it. Um, then we wait for support. Support. I already probably bought right here. Bought right here. Stop all the way probably like down here. Just because I know if price goes down here, this is my logic. Price goes all the way down here and stops me out. Most likely this setup is not bullish anymore. So that's also a tip you can. So where you could put your stop is where like the invalidates the trade setup completely. And I feel like that spot was like logical. Um, so I waited it out. Obviously entering down here and this mess would have been the best entry after liquidity sweep. And we're actually gonna go over later. Let me see. Let me see the tools. My fault, guys. The last fair value gap before liquidity sweep getting respected. So that's a little sauce in the meantime. Actually, I think this is yeah, so that's the next thing I'm gonna be talking about. Yeah. But this is a clear example. Um, waiting for price to purge that liquidity and then finding a fair value gap during the liquidity purge or after the purge. So right here we had a purge right here. We had a swing low, came failure swing, didn't go above that. Or it did take it a little bit. And then boom, came down. Last fair value gap in this leg down. Market moved up, found support. So this is not part of my model, this fair value gap, but I just wanted to throw that in there. Um, yeah, about the inverted and let me clear this. But yeah, the strategy is super simple, to be honest. Um, and you can see the respect right here as 9:30 fair value gap still holding. So, you know, it's a good tool to just have on your charts. Maybe you're not gonna trade it, but just having it there kind of like just frames this whole setup or just frames the 1 minute chart nicely. Oh, and by the way, this is done in the 1 minute chart only. So inverted fair value gaps just a bonus. Um, just see a double bottom or a double top, and then waiting for that double bottom, double top to get like liquidity swept, and then finding the last fair value gap during the run up, um, to take basically. Like the last fair value gap, let's say like right here. Last fair value gap grabs right blah 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 goes down liquidity sweep right here. Last fair value gap getting respected a bunch of times and then boom. That's kind of just a little bonus just because I've been just messing around with fair value gaps in general and this is what I've noticed. But yeah, the red fair value gaps, I call them red fair value gaps because the red folder fair value gaps. Um, yeah, those shits work. Does anyone got questions? Or you guys want to look at the charts?
Are you also taking into consideration percentage retracements? So like waiting for it to at least hit like a OTE.
For me, nah. I don't know if you peep, but I'm just peeping if the daily bias is bullish. The daily bias is
Mhm.
bullish, and we got a setup like this, 8:30. We're finding
Yeah,
support. You feel me? Like I'm just gonna take the trade, get a 1 to 3, and I'm literally not doing anything else but just looking for support at these levels, to be
no
honest.
doubt. Yeah, I took the same trade on Friday, but I was just wondering if you took that into consideration as well. But yeah,
I mean, yeah. I mean, you could definitely put your own sauce to it. I feel like it's a good base to,
yeah, no, that's great.
because looking for, let's say, a market structure shift, like, all right, you're not gonna take this trade right here until you get that market structure shift, and then you throw your stop down here. You still make some profits in this run up right here. I mean, you'll still make some good money actually from right here to right here. Um, so it's a good base or whatever. That's valid.
No doubt. So,
But yeah, it's pretty simple. I wish I had more examples. Let's see, the thing is that I don't got data on my Nasdaq, so it doesn't really let me go as far back as I want. So in this day, I remember yeah, I went long right here, long here from this support, sold over here, 1 to 3, and then, oh God, I don't like this. That's way better. Okay. And then I sold short right here, even though I shouldn't have been selling short when my bias is bullish. Sold short because price came, made this little wick, had this down candle. And I was like, you know what? This really could just drop crazy. I mean, it dropped nicely, but my stop was like pretty, pretty far. It's like something like this. So I made some profits, but you know, it came back up, took me out, found some support, broke above, and then just started going. So and this is the 930 fair value gap. So it definitely helps just to have these in your charts, to be honest, because it frames your the 1 minute looks so much clearer. This is a monster trade that I took. And it started off with a bearish um because I sold right here. So I think I sold because of this respect. So price came, made a fair value gap, first fair value gap, came over here, touched it, and I was selling right here. I think because there was like some liquidity that was untapped, probably like over here, yesterday's liquidity. Trying to hunt for that. And then the price, I think I had my stop right here, like something over here. And then so I noticed that price was like found support while I'm in my position. So I exited and then I bought right here. So I know this price was supporting over here the 930. So I switched my game plan to going long, and then I just held that shit. And it felt really nice. And especially since I can't really trade during work, that one felt real good because I was like, oh yeah. Um, I don't know what happened here. But yeah, so I think the strategy is easy as hell. So I would like to see you guys using it and seeing what happens, seeing what the sauce is. Um, let's see what happens this day. Thank you, JS. I appreciate it. All right, so first fair value gap right here after 930. Even though it didn't give you a trade, you can kind of tell just with this fair value gap that it didn't even have the speed to come back and touch it again. So, but if it doesn't go into the fair value gap, it doesn't find resistance or support here, I don't take the trade. But obviously, you guys can do whatever you want. I don't know if there was a news event on this day, but it does kind of show you when it's bearish though too. Because if it was really bullish, it would at least be, closing above this fair value gap, giving some support, but no, it got destroyed. And you never know, maybe this could do, like lunch macro, um, like what, 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. What's the last fair value gap? What's the first fair value gap in this macro? And then seeing how price respects those type of levels and time. So, you know what I'm saying? Like just I haven't tested this out, but something that's like, curious. But yeah, guys, that's all I really have for you guys. I appreciate you guys for coming.
Shit, Johnny.
How you like it? How you like the strategy?
It's pretty nice.
It's simple as hell.
Hey, did you say equities open and red folder or one or the other?
Yeah, equities open and red folder.
Okay.
So I also thank you guys. I also found that red folders are more valid, to be honest, because if you're going in there every single day at 9:30 looking for a setup off of these fair value gaps, I don't know if it's always gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? But if a news event happens, you know what I'm saying, you're also limiting the times you're trading. So, you never know if like that kind of puts the probabilities more on your side, you know. So I don't know. I'm gonna experiment with I'm gonna experiment with doing both of them or doing just either one, but definitely just put them on your charts and just see the respect for like a week and or two. Like Robin likes it. I know I know she's been finding some trades off of that, so but Robin, she be killing anything, so I don't know,
Okay.
it works. It works.
Cool. Yeah, I was
And
seeing it too.
yeah, and I'm actually pretty surprised because you never heard this from ICT. You never specifically says the first fair value gap, but also that little liquidity thing that I taught you guys, like right here, this is the last fair value gap during the purge up, right? Look how this just randomly, I just peeped this. Look how this just gets respected. So that's a whole model too. Seeing liquidity purge, fair value gap getting respected like that, you know, something that's just simple, you know. It's kind of like a double bottom right here too, or double top. 1 point, 2 points. But I
Yeah,
appreciate
no,
you.
I like it. The only thing kind of what I was mentioning earlier is I would probably prefer it to be OTE. But other than that, yeah, I mean, definitely see why it's working. And like I said, I was looking at the same thing Friday, waiting for it to hit that 61, and when it did, and then started rejecting, I took that same long, uh, and then it dipped down. It tapped it again on the 1 minute, and then it really took off. So,
Yeah, I'm jacking this would even work if like you're doing your EMAs still. You feel me? Like it touches it. Oh,
oh yeah,
the 3 and the 9 cross after
hmm
touching it. You feel me? Like some simple
yeah,
shit like that.
yeah, yeah. It was it another key level? It was also if you play rebalances, if you look at that where it broke structure on the 8:30 news, if you drop a line on that where it broke structure, it pretty much stopped a little bit below that as well
Wait, it's not today.
on the 1 minute.
Yeah, that's not today.
You traded on
Actually,
forex or futures?
I'm trading it on Forex.
Okay, yeah. So look where that you see where that perforated line is at. That's pretty much where we broke. That's pretty much the break instruction line.
This right here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it coincidentally aligned up with it. And then look at the first time it tapped it and then wicked up. That's the first entry I took, and then it came down again,
Oh, so
and
you're
then it.
talking about like a little like a breaker type of thing set up.
Yeah, sure. If you want to call it that, it don't really matter to me. But the first time you see where it wicked down the first time
Yeah.
after like 9:30, and then when I started seeing that rejection, I took my long right there, and then you know me, I don't need a lot of points. But then it came back down, and man, I was done by then. But when I started to see it rejected again, I was like, damn, I wanted to get in, and it took off.
Yeah, I think I ended up losing on this trade because of my stop being so far up. Like I bought right here, you guys can see, but my stop was like down here. So
Hmm
when the price moved, I think my stop was even deeper. Um, because I definitely would have took profits if it was looking like this. But I think my stop was even deeper, to be honest. Maybe a down here. So it looks like it was over here. But yeah, my stop was just way too wide for this trade. And this is also just because of patience. So I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
patient enough to just wait for a nice clear entry, like something like this. Like you would have went right here or even
man.
up here
I
and
watched
just,
that in real time, and I was so pissed I wasn't in that one.
you feel me? This is a nice one.
That's all time highs too, ain't it?
Yeah, so that was also another thing I wanted to say that's like this is the all-time this is kind of like the all-time highs. We peaked up, dropped down, and we had this rally. Let's see on the 5 minute if we could see something. So the last fair value gap during this liquidity sweep, like so basically right here. So we grabbed it like right here, liquidity sweep. We came back above. And if you're bearish, wait for the last fair value gap right here. You get some good respect. So we gotta drop down. And you could consider this kind of like a market structure shift because there's swing low right here, drop down, and then boom, respects it right there. So even if you would have gotten in super, super late right here, you still would make some money though. So, see. You still recording? Yeah, I'm about to exit the recording.